At the Last Supper, Jesus instituted the priesthood. The men who take up this lifelong vocation often work well into their retirement years, continuing to serve the church. Carolee McGrath sat down with 4 retired priests from the Diocese of Springfield to hear what they've been up to, and as she learned, they certainly have been busy.
On a Sunday last fall, Father Ken Tatro celebrated the 9:30 Mass at St. Cecilia's in Wilbraham. During the homily, he called the children up onto the altar. Filling in for the pastor, Father James Nolte, Father Tatro wanted to make sure he did things the way Father Nolte did, allowing the children to be engaged during Mass. And they were, as he interacted with them, relaying the gospel message.
I have a little story I'd like to share with you this morning.
Father Tatro, who was the pastor at St. Thomas the Apostle Parish in West Springfield for 13 years, is retired, but you wouldn't know it if you attended that November Mass in Wilbraham.
I celebrate Mass up at Providence Place every week, and for the most part, I've been helping out at St. Cecilia's in Wilbraham. I take the daily Thursday Mass, and I'm also available on weekends there.
Because the guy next to you retired, right?
Well, that's the rumor. You know.
Father Tatro started filling in at St. Cecilia's last summer after his brother priest, Father John Connors, retired as pastor of St. Cecilia's, and before Father Nolte was named as the new pastor.
When you retire, you're thinking of these grandiose times that you're going to be able to have, but most of it, hits the road pretty quick, because there are people out there who would like help and need help for celebrating Mass, for doing the sacraments, just for being in and around another face to bounce things off. And so it's good and it's positive, and it keeps me busy, and I'm sure it keeps my brother priest busy also.
Father John Connors, who retired in June, is still quite busy himself. You were supposed to be retired, but I'm hearing that that's not the case.
Well, I'm working at celebrating Mass at Mary's Meadow 3 times a week, so it keeps me active.
Father Connors also helps out at Pope Francis Prep in Springfield for events as well.
Jesus said to his disciples,
Father Timothy Campoli, who is also retired, was the longtime pastor at Blessed Sacrament in Greenfield and later Holy Trinity Parish in Greenfield. They now comprise the Blessed Trinity Catholic community. Father Campoli, who just came back from hip surgery, celebrates Mass each Sunday at St. Mark's in Conway.
Shortly after I retired, they asked me if I would cover the pastor down in South Deerfield, if I would cover up in Conway, because the Mass is at 9 o'clock in the morning and he had the 2 Masses there. So I've been up there since then. I've been there for 3 years now. I've been covering Conway. Nice little parish, wonderful people, and I enjoy going up there at 9 o'clock Sunday morning.
Monsignor Ronald Yargeau was the pastor of Holy Trinity Parish in Greenfield.
I remember when I retired at my last Mass, Archbishop Brzezinski was here with us. And he said to the congregation, I want you to know, he thinks he's going into hibernation. Let me tell you, he is not hibernating, and retirement for a priest is all about being active.
Monsignor Yargeau celebrates Mass Thursdays at Holy Trinity in Greenfield.
Oftentimes we're the ones who also get calls for the hospital, the emergency room, for the nursing home. And Father Campoli also still maintains coverage at the jail in Franklin County. So we do keep busy, and today having a conversation with some of our other retired priests, I think we're all very happy if our health allows us to be able to keep our finger in the pot.
One of the goals of the Beacon of Faith campaign is to support our retired priests. A fund has been set up to support their pensions and to help pay for unforeseen medical costs. There are 42 retired priests in the Diocese of Springfield. Out of the 79 priests in active ministry, 14 are eligible for retirement. There are 5 men currently in the seminary, with efforts underway to encourage more vocations to the priesthood. Father Connors, who served in the U.S. Marine Corps, says sometimes God's call comes as a whisper. What is something, if you were to tell like a young man who's considering the seminary, what would you tell them about your ministry and your decision to become a priest?
Yes, and of course I made a decision when I was older, so that's open for them as well. But certainly being called to priesthood has been the greatest blessing in my life. I certainly have enjoyed ministry. There's also challenges in ministry like anything else. But no, I've really loved being a priest, and even in retirement, to be able to reach out to some people and help some of my fellow priests has been a great blessing for me.
And his former parishioners would agree, Father Connors has been a blessing to them. And so these retired priests say they'll continue to serve as long as they're able to. Reporting for Reel to Reel, I'm Carolee McGrath.
God bless all of our retired priests. They have worked so faithfully all of these years and still continue to shine their light through their prayers and service in our parishes.